Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. I want to highlight what I think is kind of an insane statistic that has a lot of layers to it, but I saw it making the rounds on social media, and it kind of says a lot of things about not so much as Starfield as a game, but almost the growth of PC gaming. So let's talk about this. This stat has been going around quite a bit, but Starfield has just hit 325,000 concurrent players at its peak. This in fact, cracked Skyrim's record of 287,000 concurrent players, and that was 12 years ago. So Starfield at 325,000, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim 287. Now, that's kind of wild to think about. First of all, Skyrim was a gargantuan video game, a gigantic video game, and Starfield beating that is kind of wild. Now, if you actually assess both of those numbers, 287 and 325, both very, very strong numbers. However, really, if you look at how big PC games can be, it can get much bigger than 325,000. Like, yeah, that's not that crazy. It's definitely a strong number, but it can get way, way bigger than that. I believe Hogwarts Legacy peaked pretty insane. Let me actually pull that up for you guys. Where was Hogwarts Legacy's concurrent Steam players? I want to say it was pretty hefty up there. So Hogwarts Legacy had an all-time record of over 800,000 players, 879. Now, there's a lot of things to consider here. Obviously, that 325,000 players, and 330 is actually the all-time peak right now. That 330 doesn't tell the entire story of Starfield. Starfield had a staggered release on PC. You had the premium edition, and then you also had the standard release. Obviously, that was an element, and you talked about 5 days early access. Like, that's a sizable amount of an early access period for the game. But more importantly, the game was available on Xbox Game Pass. And not only that, even if you wanted to play the game early, you could have bought the Xbox Game Pass upgrade path, and that was like $35, $40, and you could just play it that way through Game Pass. So this is a segmented release where a lot of people on PC played Starfield on Steam, and then a lot of people did go the Xbox Game Pass route. We don't have exact numbers. Like, I wish we had numbers on how many people played on Game Pass. I want to say it was 50-50. That's just me throwing a shot in the dark. However, anecdotally speaking, a lot of my friends did end up buying the game outright on Steam. I want to say among like my 8 close friends, 6 of them bought the game on Steam, bought the premium edition, and then 2 of them went the Game Pass route. That's not going to be indicative of everyone, and certainly the game being available on Xbox Game Pass, like, that's gonna deter away from Starfield's peak. But, you know, if it, let's say, doubled the 325, 650,000 people for Starfield is still an incredibly healthy number. But let's say we just stick with the 325. The fact is, it beats Skyrim. And why is this such an impressive statistic? Beating Skyrim is great and all, but really what that should tell you is the fact that it's bigger than Skyrim. And I would even go as far as to argue that Skyrim at its time was a bigger game. Don't hold me at gunpoint for that take. I don't know, Starfield's a new IP, but I think what this more so tells you is that the growth of PC gaming has been unmeasurable over the last 12 years. And obviously, we all knew that PC gaming was growing at a healthy rate. All these publishers wouldn't be jumping on board. You wouldn't have somebody like a Sony releasing their first-party titles, even with a year-lagged release on PC, had there not be profit to be made on there. PC gaming, I remember when Skyrim initially came out, and I didn't get into PC gaming until, I want to say, early 2012, but back in early 2012, there were a plethora of games that just wouldn't be dropped on PC, but now all of those are essentially on PC. Do you guys remember when Dark Souls 1 was console only, was not available on PC? I want to say Dark Souls 1 came out in August of 2012, the Prepare to Die edition or whatever. I want to say that was August of 2012 that ultimately came out on PC. You didn't get that on PC right away. A lot of the Souls games, or yeah, Dark Souls, after Dark Souls came out and the success of that, I think Souls was kind of opened up, but Dark Souls, Japanese RPGs were very, very minuscule on PC. Like, there wouldn't be a lot of PC there wouldn't be a lot of JRPG support on PC. It was just non-existent. You didn't have the Tales of games. You didn't have a lot of the Final Fantasy games. But nowadays, you see all of those games come to PC at some point. But really, a statistic like this, Starfield having a segmented release and then still beating Skyrim's record on Steam is incredibly impressive, and more so indicative of Starfield's success. I think it's more indicative of the growth of PC gaming and how there are so many more people playing these games on PC. It's just a market that has really exploded, and I feel like the growth of PC gaming hasn't been kind of stated as much as it probably should be. Like Baldur's Gate 3, look at the success of that game. Obviously, that was a gargantuan release, and you really look at some of these big budget titles that come out, I really wish we had a breakdown of how the games sell on PC versus consoles. We a lot of times don't get exact breakdowns, but I'm really curious how a game like Resident Evil 4 did. Like, that is more of a console-centric game, but RE4 did exceedingly well on PC, and I would have to think it certainly beat out the Xbox version, and I don't know if it beat the PlayStation 5 version, especially given the success of a franchise like Resident Evil in Japan, where PC gaming is obviously not at that level, but, that game did it incredibly well. RE4 peaked at 168,000 concurrent players, so that's not, that's not a Baldur's Gate, that's not a Starfield, that's not a Hogwarts Legacy, certainly. So, games like that obviously aren't going to be as big as some of the other titles that drop on PC, but that's still a very healthy number, and I fully expect those numbers to just grow and grow as time goes on. Baldur's Gate 3, for example, peaked at 875, Hogwarts Legacy in the 8s as well, so, the 800 is really that benchmark for a lot of these single player folks. To obviously Baldur's Gate 3 has multiplayer, but you guys get what I'm saying. So the 800s is really the benchmark, and I don't think Starfield would have hit the 800s even if it had, no Game Pass release and if it was only on Steam. I don't think it would have hit the 800s. I think it would have been probably in the 6s, but again, that's just a complete shot in the dark. And let me know what you guys, your guys' experiences are. Are you talking to more people that bought Starfield on Steam, or is it more of a Game Pass title for you guys? And again, it's not like had this game not been on Game Pass, all of those people would have ended up buying the game. Game Pass is $10 a month, and that's a lot more accessible than dropping $70 on a game like Starfield, and there's a significant portion of those people that probably just wouldn't have even checked out the game, so that's something to consider as well. But I think Starfield would have been comfortably in the mid-5s to low 6s had the game not been on Game Pass. That might be even lowballing it for the title, but again, I don't have anything to really base it off of, especially because you can't predict how many of those people would end up buying the game. But I think this is more so a very healthy sign of how well PC gaming is just doing in general. And remember, on PC, all these sales are digital, so they're raking in a sizable amount of revenue. Like a publisher like Sony dropping their games on PC, I think that tells you all you need to, but I think Starfield, this number is quite staggering, given that, Skyrim was a colossal release. Obviously, Starfield, this record will get obliterated by Elder Scrolls 6 in 2073 if we're still there, to play that game. So, the things are looking up and up, and I'm curious, in the next year, is it going to be, are we going to get to a point where we're going to stabilize and it'll be pretty stagnant, or is it just going to be more and more people jumping over to PC? I think the fact that you see these Xbox titles and PlayStation titles dropping on PC, that is attractive to some people, but I don't even think that's, the biggest drawing factor. I think people just want a computer, and it's just there's so much variety in what you can do on a PC. People are into modding. I think there's just a lot of uses for a PC. I just had a buddy build a really high-end PC. He's fairly well off, and he's not a super big gamer, but he was like, yo, I'm gonna buy a computer anyway, let me at least get a gaming rig so the few games he plays a year, he can play them on his PC. I think there's a lot of that going on as well. But let me know your 2 cents in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.